Functional validation is the last step of the commissioning process where we test and verify if the system will work properly in grid-connected and microgrid modes. To begin the functional validation process, tap on Functional Validation, which will bring you to the Live Status screen. Live Status shows near real-time updates of power flow in the system. This system shows about 3 kilowatts of solar being produced, providing 7 watts of charge to the batteries, exporting 2.8 kilowatts to the grid, and supplying about 200 watts of power to feed the home loads. The installer app will guide us through the functional validation process. All Ensemble devices have to be ready for commissioning, production and consumption meters must be enabled from the previous commissioning steps, and the batteries must have at least 15% state of charge. If these conditions aren't met, you won't be able to continue. Tap Proceed when you're ready to continue. To run functional testing, there must be active loads running in the backup panel. Click the checkbox to confirm there are active loads, and that Live Status shows batteries are being charged. It may take 20 to 30 seconds to see the power flow status update in the Live Status screen. We have to be patient. Click Next to continue. The next functional test step is to put the system into microgrid mode. Using the on-off grid toggle switch at the top right of the screen on the app, disconnect the grid. The system will signal the system controller to open the MID contactor to disconnect the system from the grid. You should hear a click when the contactor opens and disconnects the grid. Check the box to confirm you've completed this step, and then tap Next to continue. Live Status will show the grid as not connected when the system goes into microgrid mode. Verify that the microgrid is operational and working. PV should still be producing. Backup loads should still be running normally if they're sized properly for the system, and batteries should continue to operate normally. Confirm that the system is operating correctly by tapping the checkbox and then click Next. Next, we're instructed to add additional loads in the backup system and wait for 60 seconds. Add a load that preferably you know the power of. Live Status will show the change in power. The power flow in the microgrid should change to meet the need of the loads. Waiting 1 minute allows the system to stabilize and for Live Status enough time to refresh the display. Tap Next when this step is completed. Now that the system has been tested for proper microgrid operation, we'll reconnect the grid and allow the system to transition to grid-tied mode. Slide the Go On Grid toggle switch at the top of the installer app screen. Synchronizing the utility grid signal to the microgrid signal could take 5 to 15 minutes. You will hear the MID contactor close as the system goes back on grid. Live Status will show power flow when the grid is reconnected. Tap the checkbox and then Next when this step is completed. The last step is to confirm the system transition back on grid. The installer app will indicate when the functional validation process is complete. Clicking Continue will begin the full system software update process. The official system commissioning is finished and the installer can leave the job site while the software update runs and completes. The system summary report lists